When you are walking, singing, and studying, you need energy to do these all activities. Not just you, even animals and plants also need energy to do something, an activity. What if you run out of energy? To restore or to refill the energy that you already use, of course you need to eat something. And of course you need to get some sleep. And you can be refreshed and ready to do many activities. And how about plants? Are they eat food? Then again, plants have no mouth. So, how can plants get their energy? I'm Mr. Fano, your science teacher, and today we are going to find out how plants get their energy. Actually, plants get their energy from the sunlight. Can you guess what the process is? If your answer is photosynthesis, you are right. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants make carbohydrate as their food. The carbohydrate is stored in form of starch. With its magical ability, its scientific ability that convert the carbohydrate from the carbon dioxide, air, and with some help from sunlight, and it's become plants' food. Yes, plants are really special because they can make their own food without taking it from another living things. Starch is stored of energy, and the process occurs in the leaf. In the following experiment, we'll show us how the starch is produced by the leaf.
Hi, today what we're doing is we are testing a leaf for starch. We're testing a variegated leaf, and that is one which has chlorophyll in some bits and not in other bits. I'll just put it there so you can see. In order to do this, we're going to need some hot water, we're going to need a tripod heating equipment, and we're going to need some iodine solution and some ethanol and some safety specs. We'll don the safety specs now. Right. Let's get this water fully boiling. Lighting on safety flame, putting it onto full roaring blue flame. Let's get that heated up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to boil this leaf of this poor draggled plant here, which maybe has seen better days. We're going to boil this in here for about 20 seconds or so. And what that will do is it's going to denature the enzymes, going to kill the leaf, and that will stop photosynthesis. What we're trying to do is see where the leaf is now. So we're going to stop all the living processes going on inside this leaf by denaturing its enzymes. Great, our water is boiling now. I'm going to turn that off here. It's hot enough, I don't need to keep it boiling. I'm just going to get the leaf under the water. There we go. And we're just counting for about 20 seconds. That's all that's needed. It's going to soften the leaf, it's going to soften the cellulose fibers in there as well as denaturing the enzymes. So I think that will do. Now importantly, we've switched off our flame because now what we want to do is submerge our leaf in boiling ethanol. Ethanol, of course, is extremely flammable, and so we don't want any naked flames near it. And we'll boil the ethanol by putting it into our water bath here. So out you come, Mr. Variegated Leaf, pop you in there, and we're going to leave that in there boiling for about 2 minutes. What this is going to do is the chlorophyll doesn't dissolve in water. You know that when you boil broccoli at home, you don't get white broccoli at the end of it because the chlorophyll stays in there. It's not soluble in water. It is soluble in ethanol. And we are now going to remove the chlorophyll. That's not because we're expecting photosynthesis to carry on. It's because we're going to be doing a color test on this at the end of it, and we don't want any green pigments from the chlorophyll in place to interfere with our test. Well, our ethanol is boiling very nicely now. I'm just going to hold this under our camera here. You can see it boiling really, really well. We're going to leave that for 2 minutes and come back to it. Yeah, that is pretty much there. It's done very well. We've done our 2 minutes. We've dissolved the chlorophyll, and I'm going to hold it under the camera here so that you can see that. It's got a little bit hot in the meanwhile, so I'm going to use my tongs. And you can see there, we've dissolved the chlorophyll. It's gone off into the ethanol, and you can already see the leaf is white underneath it. Okay, we're going to pour off the ethanol. We're going to pour that actually straight back into here. And also we're going to put the leaf into there as well. The leaf, well, I'll show you first before I pour it in. It's going to come out all kind of crispy. It's rather peculiar. Out it comes. It's all kind of crispy. It's not floppy at all. Indeed, if I can probably make you hear it. Well, I'm not sure. Here we go. So we're going to drop it into here. That'll soften the leaf up. Because we need it soft, we're going to need to spread it out onto our white tile in order to look for our results. There we go. We'll leave that in there. So, on to our leaf down here. Now, we'll remind ourselves why we're doing this. We're looking to see where the starch is in this leaf. That's because the starch is indicative of photosynthesis having happened. Photosynthesis makes glucose. Glucose is polymerized and stored as starch. So the regions of the leaf where there is starch, that suggests that that's where photosynthesis has been occurring. Okay. Let's go. And we're going to put our iodine solution in it. And we're going to drizzle our iodine solution onto it. There we go. We'll let it we'll let the stain take for just a few seconds, and that's very beautiful. We can see that really nicely. I'll just zoom into it. Here we go. And you can see here the pattern of the starch. That's the black areas rather than the unstained orange areas. The black areas are where the starch is, and also they correspond exactly to where the chlorophyll was. And therefore this is evidence, it's not proof, but it's evidence that the chlorophyll is required to make glucose, to make starch. The chlorophyll is required for photosynthesis. Thank you.
A plant from which the starch plant has been removed, called the starch plant. A plant is starched by putting it in a dark place for a few days. Daily example for the starch plant is bean sprouts. Water is really essential for life. Human and animals, all we need water to live. If we don't have water, we will die. That also happened on plants. Water was drawn into the plant's root from the soil and is carried along microscopic tubes from the root, transported by tissue in vascular plants called xylem tissue to the stem and the other parts of the plant. Xylem tissue is equivalent with blood on human and animals' body. When it reaches leaves, it takes part in making their food. The same process on human and animals' blood, which distributed their nutrients to our whole body. So, water is material that plants need to use to make food by photosynthesis process. Besides water, plants also need carbon dioxide to create carbohydrate. Carbon dioxide is also essential for plants to get energy and grow. If plants get water from the root, transported by xylem to the stem and to the rest of the plant body, the plants get its carbon dioxide through leaves from the air. To investigate the role of carbon dioxide in starch production, two starch plants are needed. One is enclosed in a transparent plastic bag with a dish of soda lime, and the other is enclosed in a transparent plastic bag with a dish of sodium hydrogen carbonate solution. The air in the bag is sealed in with an elastic band which will hold the bag to the plant pot. Soda lime is a mixture of sodium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. It has property of absorbing carbon dioxide from the air. Sodium hydrogen carbonate solution is released carbon dioxide into the air. It enriches the air with carbon dioxide. Set up the plant in sunny place and left for a few hours, and then a leaf from each one is tested for starch. A leaf from the plant in the air without carbon dioxide doesn't contain any starch, but leaf from the plant in the air enriched with carbon dioxide contains starch. So we can conclude that carbon dioxide is needed for starch production. In here we already know that plants need water and carbon dioxide to do photosynthesis. But is it really everything that plant needs? There are one thing left that plant needs to make the process complete. Yeah, plants need light, especially the sunlight. In order to investigate the sunlight is needed for starch production, once again we need one discharge plant. One leaf from the discharge plant covered by aluminum foil, and one leaf of discharge plant covered in transparent plastic. The plant is left in a sunny place. Then the cover are removed from the leaves and they tested for the presence of starch. The leaf enclosed in aluminum foil doesn't contain any starch, while the leaf enclosed in transparent plastic contains starch. This shows that light is needed for starch production. Photosynthesis process can only happen in plants because plants have a particular element called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green photosynthesis pigment which takes all this process happen. That's why you usually see color of green in plants. This photosynthesis process is very important to all creatures since by doing photosynthesis, plants will produce oxygen, which is essential to humans and animals. So, thank you photosynthesis for the food and oxygen.
That's all for today's lessons, and see you on the next lesson.
Bertumbuh dalam karakter, bergerak ke tujuan hidup, berdampak dengan potensi maksimum.